infamous Illuminati.
What's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Barbecue Studios back again.
I want to welcome you.
Welcome you to my
boy back in the building, back in effect.
Hell yeah. What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. We got a great interview lined up. JPG Mcfly from that Spider-Man booth. But I do want to shout out before we get into shenanigans and everything. This week we lost Empire Comics, fellow comic book community member, fellow Link Squad member, passed away, I believe, on Monday it was. And I just want to highlight in the chat, pinned is the GoFundMe information for Angel. He is survived by his two children, Anelli and Adrian. If you can, go to that link, donate something, or share the link out to your network so that they could donate something. He was an awesome cat, and I got to know him over the last couple of months, and just all around great guys. So yeah, do whatever you can do. And sorry to start out on such a somber note. So
yeah, rest in peace.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't have segues.
Maybe ruin the moment, DJ.
Yeah, I got awkward. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it made it more awkward. Good call.
Why don't we sit here in the awkwardness and then talk about how awkward it is?
Keep the shit rolling. Keep it rolling.
Awkward. What it was? Awkward turtle.
Did I tell you a junkie passed out on my driveway?
That's actually on the agenda. We are going to get to junkies and driveways, and we might merge them to junkies and driveways. But of course, we want to introduce our special guest for the evening. He is the owner, the proprietor of that Spider-Man booth. He is also the co-creator. I wrote creator on the title card because I was like, fuck that. He's the creator. Co-creator of Ninja Funk, friend of the show, Mr. JPG Mcfly.
Thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for paying us to let you on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just giving me my money back because you know how much money I spent on that Spider-Man booth in the early days.
You should have said how much money on Ninja.
You know what? One of our taglines, Nick, is that we are all Ninja Funk. So you contributed to Ninja Funk too. You could be like, hey.
You told me the tagline was no refund. Sorry.
That sounds like something I would say. No.
So real quick, before we get into your background and all that stuff, when are we going to get another Superior box, my dude?
So the thing is, I like to do things really big, right? And so I forgot what versions were. I was giving some of the giveaway things were Amazing Spider-Man 1, X-Men 1, and then we were still getting roasted online, even though we had these huge things, and we lost money on those ones because I wanted to do it big where everybody made money, and then a lot of the people were like, "Oh, I could sell it, but it's only $350, a Superior box. Like, it's even though I could make $100, it's not that pizzazz." And since we left off on the V19, I wanted to, when I do the V20, I want to make it so like everyone is like, "Oh yeah, everyone gets a $700 box, and it costs $200." And I would plan on losing $10,000-$20,000 just to bring it back and try to make every box, like try to make them happy, because it's more of a celebration than a money-making thing since it's the V20. You know?
Wow. So
if you ever see a V20 launch, just know this interview that buy it because it's more me giving back towards that Superior brand rather than us trying to like make any money.
And all those T-shirts were bangers.
Yes.
Love those T-shirts.
Thank you.
So on average, let's just say for V17, 18, and 19, how much money did you lose?
It was, I don't know. It was a couple of them because, I mean, we were going into it knowing that we were going to lose money. Like, we can't give out X-Men 1, Amazing Spider-Man 1. It's just the high ends were very high, right? I was trying to make the floors acceptable too, where it was the 350 mark. But, we really want it to be a celebration if the V20 came out. And maybe we could lose a lot of money, but maybe everyone gets like a $500 box, and then you know, and then you get a couple like grandiose ones.
I think what DJ is trying to say is if you want to share your screen, you can review any invoices or P&L statements that you might have gotten together. We would really like to dig into the financial aspect of
At least your tax forms.
yeah. What's your monthly salary before taxes?
Will you share your W-2, sir, or your whatever?
The loss of money from the boxes leads you to the job at Whatnot.
No, Whatnot. I don't work for Whatnot. I wish I did. Whatnot. They filled a void in the live sales, and it was just clever. It was ingenious to make something simple with what everyone was doing with Facebook live sales, Instagram live sales, the YouTube live sales, and they just simplified the annoying parts. Yeah.
So can I ask, before we get onto that, the live sales, it's like you always seem to find somebody to run them who's always very exciting, has a very dynamic personality, always kind of drives the show and kind of creates a fever pitch in buying comics rather quickly. Are you just lucky in finding those people, or do you vet them? Like, how's the process come about when you find those people to run like your live sales? Because there's always so much fun that they bring about.
Well, they definitely do have a script to begin with and show with what works. But we want them to have their own personality as well. So we let them show their let them put their mark on the shows too. We give them the freedom for it, and I think that freedom lets them a little free. It gives them freedom.
So JPG, for those that don't know who you are, like, who are you? How did that Spider-Man booth get started? Just give us some of your background.
So that Spider-Man booth is simply for the love of comic books. I just love comic books. The simple flipper mentality, but also when I was a kid, you read the comic book, you read it cost you $1, and it went up to $2, and you're like, whoa, I could go read 2 comics. I always thought it was the most affordable way of entertaining yourself, that it's paying you to get entertained. Goes up, it's $1, it goes up to $20. Yeah, man, I could read $20. I could read 20 comic books next week. So that it grew from the love.
I never thought about it like that. Shoot, that's that's not bad. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's entertaining, and the purchasing and finding stuff is entertainment in itself. It's how many people do you see with garage full of comic books with millions of dollars of comic books, but they don't care. They just love comic books. They could sell it at any time, but they just don't. So that's that. The whole thing. You can't put in this much work for the money, right? You could definitely put in this much work in another thing like real estate or whatever.
Yeah.
But would you love it? I mean, I'm sure other people love the real estate sales or this other things, but I love comic books. I love comic books. I love music.
So, comic books or music? If you had to save one, they were both hanging off a cliff.
If I have to save one, I'm totally that Peter Parker, Miles Morales thing. I'll save them both.
Nah, dude. Nah, I hear you. I'm the same way. So, how did that Spider-Man booth get started?
I was in college studying illustration, and
wow.
I just wanted to. Comic books, for me, was just a really easy way to make money. I loved it. It didn't feel like work. I have so many comic books that if you forget about them, they actually 10x, 20x, and it's just an easy source of money. Right? All your stuff that you bought as a kid, they're all worth 30x, and you just sell it, and you could find so many things that's like $10 and they're worth like $80, and you just buy like 100 of them, and I would just sell like 3 a week, and that was my job, and I could go through college and get straight A.
Nice.
Oh wow, that's dope. So that was in college. When did it form as a retail company?
So in 2011, it still was. I still only worked 2-3 days a week all the way up to 2019 or something. I've only been full time these last 4 years. 5 years. I might have been around. You might think I was working so much, but I was studying music the other days, and most of the time I was putting into music. You might have seen me with comic books from 2011, and you might have thought I was full time, but it was very, very, very part time. I just be smart about my investments.
And how did the name come about? Because it's catchy. I mean, it seems to be like one long word, but it just flows.
So someone told me back in the days, I don't know where it came from, but they were telling me that Spider-Man, at first, I love Spider-Man, he's my favorite. And they were telling me that Spider-Man merchandising was sold $1 billion a year. I was like, whoa, I was like, that's cool. And then they were saying number 2 was Batman, and he sold 400,000 or like 400 million a year. I was like, what the heck? Number 2, he 2.5x's them, and he's my favorite character. And I was like, I'm just gonna sell all Spider-Man books. So the first thing was that I wanted every single Amazing Spider-Man in store for people to buy. I had issue 7 and 10 all the way up to current, but since Amazing Spider-Man's the best-selling comic book, it was very hard to replace 50s and 13s and 18s and 14s. But that was the closest I've gotten. Issue 7 and 10 on. I've had all of the books. It's just that was the closest. I only needed. Let's see.
You own an AF-15?
I only needed 8 comic books to have every single one in store.
Do you have an AF-15?
I don't.
Do you think if you didn't lose so much money on mystery boxes, you could buy one?
No. Well, that whole thing with the mystery boxes, and that is always part of branding, and we made so much money off of it for us to give back sometimes.
That's really cool.
I think it's like losing money. I think it's giving back. Going into it.
Just to interject, did you invent the comic book mystery box?
I believe I did. So I got it from the toy market.
Really?
Yeah. I believe I did because I got it. I was running the conventions, and one of the toy guys was like, he's like, how much make up mystery boxes? I was like, how much? And it was like $40,000 or $50,000 a show. I was like, what the heck? And then I did it the next show, and we sold out in like 45 minutes or an hour and a half. I was like, what is happening? I just didn't bring it online until, I don't know, 20 whatever.
Like I would say the pandemic, right? Like the pandemic forced you to kind of shift gears of what you were doing. Talk a little bit about how you shifted gears during the pandemic when cons were shut down. How did you source inventory, things like that?
Well, it's for COVID, it's the business 5x, right? So you're making X amount of money, we're making 5 times as much instantly. So it wasn't really that hard. It was COVID hit maybe a year after I started doing stuff online, or a year and a half. So, and then it just 5x'd. It's just like, okay, so I built the little base, and it was just a gold rush. It was a terrible time, but for comic book people online, it was not a terrible time.
Yeah. Say for sellers, it seemed like that was the boom right there. That was where it was at.
Yeah.
It was the first video that I ever uploaded up to YouTube, and I was just like, I got 2 $30 comic book mystery boxes from that Spider-Man booth.net.
.net?
I messed up, on my very first
video. Wait, that was your first video ever? Was it that Spider-Man booth?
Yeah.
Let's go! I love it. I feel.
Do we have the picture? Do you have the picture?
Much more.
I don't have the picture.
Please show the picture.
Yo, but I messed up. I said .net. I said .net, and then I asked my daughter. I was just like, "Oh, could you read it off the box, whatever?" And she's just like, "Yeah." I was like, "Is it .net or .com?" .net. I was like, but she was trolling me. I appreciate her troll game. An apple off the old tree. So
that's awesome. I have a connection with you. I feel it,
dude. I think getting into the whole mystery box, because I love comic book mystery boxes. That's the dominant thing on the channel. And when we got into it, that Spider-Man booth, that was like what people were talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why the very first question I asked you was, what's up with the superior boxes? Because as a community, we would wait for those superior boxes, and then we would watch all the videos, and like Taylor would hit me up and be like, oh, how was your box? Mine was trash. And I was like, mine was the best box ever, Taylor.
See, hopefully for V20, I could eliminate the sadness of the $350 box and get it up to 500. I am starting to buy collections more, and collections, since they're dime on the dollar or whatever, I might be able to do it. Throw in a bunch of keys in all of them, and not really consider it as losing money, because I wouldn't lose money. I'd still probably make money if I could just get those collections. I just wouldn't make as much. I just would leave $20,000 on the table.
Yeah, no, of course. So when did you make the switch from, or I mean, you didn't make the switch because that Spider-Man booth is still up and running, but when did you kind of dip your toes into the comic creation side of it, and how did Ninja Funk come about? Just like the concept and the inception of it up until what we got like today.
So throughout the years in the studio all the time, the co-creator Steve Shuida would always joke around making me comic books, make a comic book. He knew my background, he knew I was into comic books, and it was just in my blood. And so this idea has been here for a long time. And when Whatnot came around, they would always ask me, hey, JP, what can we do for you? And I would always say, nothing. You don't have to do anything for me. You made this awesome app. You absolutely have to give me no favors at all, or do nothing at all. They kept asking me, though, and I knew they were thinking about making a publishing company. I kind of just nudged them in that direction. I showed them the music that we were making for the comic. I showed them all the finished work. I was like, Ninja Funk, the comic book, was going to get completed. Were they going to back us? And then, I didn't know, but 6 months later or so, Jack DeMaio, God bless his soul, he called me up. He's like, we're making your comic book. And that was one of the most awesome phone calls I've ever gotten.
How hype were you, like, when you got off the phone?
I mean, I'm a pretty even keel type of person. I don't get too crazy unless there's a last second buzzer beater and the Lakers win or they lose. The emotions are kind of even keel. So I thought about it in my brain, but I didn't really yell or do anything. I was just.
Now,
my vibe was a little bit different. I had a little bit extra within me.
Do you enjoy the separate aspects equally, or do you favor selling more, or the creation part of it, or are they hand in hand?
The selling part or the creation of it? Oh, you mean like retail versus creator?
Right.
Definitely the creator aspect of it. If you've known, I've always tried to create things within the retail with the Superior Box, those little subgenre brands, that mystery box, 2.1. Like, I've always been into creation of the retail. So I would say creation, definitely. It's just, it gives you a different type of fulfillment.
So I know you have a music background and all that stuff, but what was or speak about the inspiration behind Ninja Funk with the music stuff and the frequencies and things like that.
So when my buddy during COVID, he wrote a comic book, he wrote a Ninja Funk storyline, and after he did that, I was like, okay, I'm very much the all day, every day type worker. Like, I always work. So after he did that, I spent hundreds of hours studying frequencies and studying more how we could figure out how these characters got their powers and what the outline of it was going to be, and that it's rooted. The whole storyline is rooted in conspiracy theories and in real world, right? The beat of Earth, 432 hertz. Right, that's our true harmony. I just don't want to call it 432 hertz, right? I don't want to get into technical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes we throw in words like oscillator, but they have the same definitions. And then back in the days, how they would, the conspiracy of how they move things, right? With bass, they say that they move it with bass frequencies, right? If you could have really loud bass, it creates a vibration. It moves it. We have
like how ancient civilizations move these giant megalithic blocks and stuff.
or they made the straight lines, right?
Yeah.
There's laser frequency theories. And then I was studying, I was trying to think of the coolest things, and there was a love frequency, right? And so we have the love bender. We have obviously the treble bender, and then you have Wolfgang, who is the unheard god, the ones you only cats can hear and dogs could hear. So he's called the unheard god because the pitch is so high that it works, But we have to call them other things. We don't say, 14K, like you don't say 14K. People are like, what the hell are you talking about? But like music nerds might be like, oh, that's where we can't hear you. So we have to put these things into our world and call them something that people will understand. And then the resonance god, what happens when frequencies, this is hopefully you guys in the chat, frequencies are the same frequencies. What happens DJ links when they're the same frequency, right? It creates like a vibration, right? And so when you do that on your wine glass, it explodes because it can't handle the same vibration. So when we talk about resonance frequencies within our world, that guy has exploding powers because he's figured out your frequency. So we're trying to figure out the lore on how these people use and bend frequencies with what actually exists.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I remember at C2E2, I think it was 2021 when we were there in December, you and I were walking, we met in the elevator and we were walking over to the convention center and you were explaining all this to me. And like my brain was like, boom, like it blew up. So to have that initial conversation 2 years ago to where we are right now, we're back having the same conversation with your published book is a great accomplishment, sir.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you. I've always, respected you and the things you've accomplished too. I'm very thankful that you had me on the show.
Oh, awesome.
I was just going to say, for anybody out there who possibly hasn't read the book yet, I'm not saying me, I'm speaking for a friend, because I'm very well versed in the book and know exactly what you just said and understand everything. What would be kind of like a selling point? Like, how would you explain that to somebody who may be new to it? What would kind of be again, kind of like a selling point for them to pick it up? What would you say for somebody like that?
Our standard pitch is that it's written in the language of music, and the universe is off key. And so what happens when you hear things off key in music? It kind of kills the vibe or hurts the dissonant frequencies. Hurt your ears. It kills the vibe. In our universe, it's actually killing life itself. And the heroes are trying to bring the world back to true harmony. That's the Armageddon story within the Ninja Punk universe. And as far as I know, no one has told it in this way.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then as you follow along through the issues, there are QR codes where you can scan it and it'll take you to, I think it's a SoundCloud where you can hear some music. Where did that idea spawn from? Because that's cool.
It was we were always going to make a soundtrack for it, but my fiance was like, oh yeah, you should, like when we were talking about QR codes, and she's like, oh yeah, you should hide it within the artwork. And we're like, what? And then she showed us somebody that did it within artwork or something. I was like, that's it. We're going to do that. And then, you always think that you're doing something first. And I think, it's like explaining to people. And then someone was like, he's like, that's like, what's that book called? The one that was really popular last year.
We live.
Live.
Yeah,
We live.
We live.
Yeah, we live. And they're like, oh, like we live. I was like, what the? I was like, I didn't know about that. I was like, well, did We Live, the creators, make the music? Shout out We Live.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I remember on here we were talking about it and I was like, yo, Ninja Funk, as you go through, you scan the QR code and the music definitely sets the tone. It matches perfectly what's going on in the scenery. And I think it was Mark was just like, oh, just like We Live. And I was like, oh, shit.
That's all. I mean, it's like you always think that someone is biting your idea, or that be like, oh, I didn't do it. Someone bit my idea. It's not that someone bit your idea. It's just that the world is ready for it. It's time, right? It's just time.
Yeah, I mean, all great ideas they spawn kind of at the same time. You always have these geniuses operating within the same eras and stuff like that. So this Wednesday, you just dropped Ninja Funk Bolo's Playground. That was a special one shot. Talk about that.
So did you guys, either of you guys, have a chance to read it?
So I did not read it. My shop had a special order for me, and it didn't get in on Wednesday, and I was super pissed off. Especially to prepare for this, I was just like, "Oh no! Like, I need the book." Shout out
I
to
could have sent you the PDF.
That's true.
So there's a spoiler in it. A major character comes back to comic books. It's our first crossover with another publisher, and there's a cameo in the back. So it's been getting really good so far, and yeah. So that the whole purpose of that was, if you guys want, you guys in the chat, if you guys want to mute it, I could just that. At the end of issue,
don't mind spoilers. Go ahead.
At the end of issue 4, BB, Laser Wolf's love, gets kidnapped. Mm-hmm. So Bolo has a Funk's oscillator, and in music, oscillator means to move forward and backward, which is time travel. Forward and back. But it also means move side to side, which is dimension travel. So even though within the story it's talking about the time travel. But because if you know the word oscillator, you know it's a possibility of the dimension travel, and at the end, the dimension travel happens on accident. Yeah, so it was definitely a long time in the works with the publisher, the artist, the different. There's a lot of politics that are well worth it to get.
I would. That's good enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, without blowing it up, because I'm excited to get my issue when it comes in. Which publisher? Or is that too much? Is that actually too much?
It's Dark Horse.
Okay.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of great covers. Like, do you have people in mind for specific issues? Like for Bolo's Playground, was it David Mack? There was a Transformers homage. There was a blank cover. Like, how do you line up the covers? Do you have things in mind prior to?
Well, it's definitely throughout my love for comic books. Transformers issue 5 is a big moment for me when Transformers are all dead. And that's when Shockwave became my favorite Transformer, because I was like, this fool killed everyone.
Yeah, that was
I was like, this is insane. And so it had a big impact on me. A lot of the homages are, things that it impacted me throughout my lifespan. So and then of course the spoiler cover, Tyler's is original, and then David Mack's is original. He really wanted to do
you want to show some of those covers?
Yeah, sure. So here's David Mack, non-spoiler comic.
All right, and there's a Virgin one of that also, right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
And Tyler Kirkham, he really wanted to do I wanted to give him a original idea. He was really into that, like, month or two. He was doing this a lot. And he likes to try new things. It looks beautiful. And then the Transformers, this Dan Quintana is freaking sick. There is one thing though. You guys know the IP Do You Poo?
Yeah.
So they released one maybe a few months ago, and I don't know who came up with it, but right here where it says "are all dead," like Transformers are all dead, they put "till all are dead," and I was like, "Oh my god, that copyright is so sick." I was about to call Murat and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna bite that." But "till all are dead." If you guys know the end of the Transformers movie, it's like "till all are one." So,
Don't say Transformers.
Marcus got bit by the Transformers bug now, so he's going back into the Gen 1 stuff. So
yeah.
Oh wow.
I was deep in the movies, and now I started collecting the comics a couple weeks ago.
Do you remember the movie? The animated movie?
No, I'm a Michael Bay fanatic, man.
Okay, got it. I have one of the ultimate Transformer grails. It's like the end credit scene, and it's Cybertron where Unicron goes, around. I have that original art. It's
Oh wow,
yeah, it's probably my prize.
like an animation cell.
It's in animation the backgrounds are paintings, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
But with Unicron going around it, the cells are usually small. But since Unicron was going around it, it was on a roller. And so
Oh my god!
So the painting is huge.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's epic. Yeah.
Okay, so tonight's giveaway, we put in Spider-Man booth.
Yeah, I had a ton of people calling me to put it in their magazines and stuff.
So how did you acquire that Grail, if you don't mind me asking? Because that's not something that comes up for sale too often.
And can we see the receipt for it?
I paid $5,000 for it, but I wouldn't. If you offered me $50,000, I wouldn't take it.
Yeah, that seems like a steal for something like that.
I knew the guy that had it for 15, 20 years. He was a Transformer retail guy that's big. He had like a ton of stuff. I had it. He sold me a Unicron cell, like from the movie, a Hot Rod cell, so all those things that are legendary with the Transformer stuff. And I knew he had it. He was always telling me like 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand. And then I was like, oh man, dude, just give it to me for $5. And then he's like, no, you want it. Yes, you could just have it for $5.
I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah,
I stole it for half. Good. Point.
That's really cool.
By that logic, I'll give you $2,500.
But I mean, at that point, I mean, $5,000 is still a lot of money for me now. But at that point where I bought it, it was a lot of money.
I like how you just try to relate yourself to the common man. It didn't work, but that was a good try.
Yeah.
I mean,
still a lot of money for me. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, bullshit.
No, but yeah, and that's why it's like, if you offered me $50,000, I wouldn't take it.
Well, for people who, if $5,000 is a lot of money for you, you would take $50,000.
Well,
so we're going to come together as a community, and we're going to try to buy this from you for $50,000.
$50,001.
$50,001. We're going to have to flip the coin, maybe.
So Nick just mentioned Ninja Funk exclusives. When it comes to the covers and the amount of covers that are released, do you have any say about that? Like, how does that work?
Oh, that's all me. I'm so I like to work 24 hours a day, and my hand in this, all the trade dresses, it's like 99% me. Like, I'm just working all day to make the best possible product and as many as possible.
How do we get an exclusive?
Wouldn't it? Yeah, just hit me up. Dude, get a DJ Links. That'd be awesome, man. That would be amazing.
There you go. You hear that, guys?
I hear it. My wallet heard it too.
Are we going to be able to get a half off discount since we really want it?
That's the publisher.
What if we throw in an exclusive Transformers voiceover work by this guy right here?
Oh, let's go.
I'm just telling you, I can do some phenomenal things.
Oh, you can talk like a
voiceover. Yeah.
Even better.
So what's next for Ninja Funk? With the one shot just dropped, what's on the horizon?
So I'm getting married not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Oh, congrats, man!
Yeah. It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming, but I've always liked wedding issues, the Spider-Man wedding issues.
Yeah.
And so we wrote a storyline for JBG Mcfly gets married, and we're only giving it out at the wedding. So there's 375 copies. Issue 1 has 105,000 copies, and there's only 375 of the wedding issue, and it's a new story, and it's issue 6. Here's the cover for it.
Hold on, let me make
It's only available to people who go to your wedding?
Yeah, we're just giving it to them.
And it's an actual in continuity issue, though.
Yeah.
That's dumb, bro.
Yeah.
Why would you shit on your supporters like that?
No, it's
no. You're laughing. I'm being serious. That's a dumb car.
It's more like an Easter egg.
Okay, if it's legitimately issue 6, though, I mean that's cool that you did that. But what about the people that actually follow the story, that actually enjoy the story?
Well, the way we ended it, it has the same ending. Where it starts off on issue 7 as the issue 5. So we made sure that it was like in Bane, where you would get one of those those books where there's a little story in it. It feels like it's in continuity, but it wouldn't like mess up the flow of it.
You never thought about like giving out koozies at your wedding or some shit?
Koozies? What's that?
Oh, the thing you put your cup in?
Yeah, you keep your drink cold or something. You got to give out exclusive comics.
Nah, that's a boss move.
That's what I mean. That's
a boss
guest list, bro. That's what I'll bring a gift. Come on, man.
Now this is a good way to weed out who your real friends are. You got this exclusive wedding. You're going to give them all a comic, and if you see any of those on eBay, cut them off. Cut them off.
I'm all for opportunity. If they want to sell it, I'm not that type of guy that gets mad.
I'm wondering.
I assume half of them
not even know what they have.
It's gonna be all wrinkled. There's only gonna be 10 comic book people there, or 15 comic book people. They're all gonna be people that I know. So
there's 10 people are gonna be running around getting the copies off all the other guests. Here, I'll take that for you. You want a koozie? I made koozies. Here, take the koozie.
I need to get in contact with Grandma. She doesn't know what she's getting.
Oh man!
Hey, you gotta respect the game.
Yeah, that's like this
ghost book, man. That's crazy.
The rest of your guests are like, why the fuck do I have to carry this comic around this event?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's one reason too that you
need to get up on the cleanup crew for this wedding, Remy, because we can just sweep the place afterwards and like probably leave 50 copies of people who just leave them behind.
I assume like 50 of them are going to get thrown away. But, I mean, that's the whole thing, right? The things that I like to buy too and like collect are like that first appearance of Shuri, where it's that J. Scott Campbell. If there's only 100 of them, 50% of them are damaged. So like those are the fun things to like look for. Like you find them in a dollar bin because you'll find it for a $1 bin and for $5,000, right? It's like, it's the same thing that this book will be. It's like
that's awesome.
It'll be high end, but then at the same time you'll find it in a 50-cent bin somewhere.
Wow, I need to get some. So JPG, we're gonna start wrapping up. I don't want to keep you all night. Just one last question, sir. Ninja Funk is music. Will we ever see a DJ Lynx?
As a character, yeah, for sure. What do you want
just a fat dude with a beard?
Just don't make him a terrorist.
A terrorist?
Don't make him a terrorist. That's a sore subject for DJ.
We got to do something. He can't be a DJ.
Yeah, make him a terrorist then. Fuck it.
No.
That's fine. I embrace the terrorism aspects of comic book stuff. So
I'm trying to think of an instrument with a chainsaw that can be implemented somehow here, a villain or something.
Remy's favorite weapon is the chainsaw.
Oh, then maybe you'll just be one of the DJs.
Make Remy the DJ. Just the best DJ.
So, sir, in closing, do you have anything that you want to say to the audience? What's next and stuff like that? I know you just spoke about the wedding issue. Like, what's the future of Ninja Funk?
So, Volume 2 is called Ninja Funk Bad Music, and it follows the antagonist. And in Bolo's Playground, there was a preview of it. It's definitely a more internal storyline than the first issue 1 through 6. It's where one of the characters, is basically fighting insanity. And so we got a lot of cool things from Alessandro Maselli and a lot of cool images to represent it. And this isn't even the crazy stuff within the book. There's definitely some wild stuff with mental visions that this character is going through. And that's coming out soon.
Sweet.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So, dude, we want to thank you for coming on.
Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Man. And thank you for sharing that Spiderman.net. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that story. Yeah.
That's I embarrassed myself. Literally the first video, and I put my foot in my mouth.
That's amazing. I'm just so happy that I was a part, or that Spider-Man booth was a part of it.
Yeah, you never forget your first.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Before I even recorded the video, I had bought, I want to say like 8. It was the $30 joints. So I already had bought like 8 boxes, and I was like, I'm gonna spread my videos out and stuff like that. So literally, that Spider-Man booth is the company that's synonymous with comic book mystery boxes. So
thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No brainer.
and you help fund Ninja Funk. So
Awesome.
you see Ninja Funk at a movie theater, and you walk in, just be like, yeah, I paid for this.
Wait, what? Is that an exclusive? What? You heard it here first?
I mean, that's the goal. That's always the goal.
Definitely. So we wish you luck, sir, and thank you for jumping on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome,
you guys have a great time.
Appreciate you, bro.
Take care, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
What a class act.
Are we doing this? Yeah.
Yeah.
he was still is
First
part of a lot of
guest.
people. Like, would we have Taylor Winder if it wasn't for that Spider-Man booth? Taylor goes on there and wins all the time.
Yeah, that's why I was like getting into this, especially in the mystery box stuff. With the superior boxes, it brought, like, we all looked forward to it. I remember like hitting up Rob, hitting up Taylor, hitting up whoever, and be like, "Yo, like, how was your boxes? Are you gonna unbox it? I'm dropping my video on Monday. Make sure you don't drop it at the same time." Like, it was an event, and we kind of missed that. Like, we're kind of, when there are big box drops, like Winking had dropped a box. I think he's dropping another one. Like Jack B, he's dropping he dropped
777.
The 777 was a you Yo, I'm out, man.
Super trash.
The 777, that was a big event box too, man. But yeah, no, I kind of
a lot
missed
of
that.
community talk around it.
Yeah, there was.
And that's
How
what it
bad
was.
is your box?
Yo, so big shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Didn't go through and say what's up to everybody. I went through the comments and made sure to highlight some people. We're not done yet. That was the interview portion of the show. We're gonna go into our regular agenda, and I got a vast agenda here. Again, real quick, I just want to make sure to point out the pinned message that is pinned in the comments. The very top is the GoFundMe for Empire Comics in support of his children, Anelli and Adrian. We lost Empire Comics this week. So if you can feel free to donate something or to share that link within your network. Just want to, point that out, and then we'll jump into the agenda.
You did it again, DJ.
I'm sorry, man. I'm
Play
sorry.
the intro.
I mean, it's appropriate.
People are still in shock. It's crazy.
Yo, when I saw, damn, I don't even want to talk about this shit. I might cry. But when I think it was Comic Vet, right? He was the first one to put it in the chats. Yo, and I was at my table and legit, I did one like, what the fuck? I did one of these and I just jumped up because he and I, for the last couple of months leading up to his release of the mystery boxes, we would talk every day. Advice on the mystery boxes, stuff like that. Like, because apparently I'm known as the mystery box guy. And then we literally would talk every day through chats. Now, I'm not saying we talked all day. Like, it would be a message here, maybe another message tomorrow, back and forth and stuff like that. And, to get that like, see news like that, and then knowing his story. So if you know his story is crazy. So that's why I'm like, not only was he the homie, his two surviving children, like they're, they don't have their parents. And it's just a sad, tragic thing. That's why I'm encouraging anybody, if you could donate to that, please, or share it. I had announced to the Link Squad members that in July, so for the Patreon, that entire month of whatever I get from the Patreon, I'm donating that to the family, which I already did. And then I matched it on top of that. So there will be no links box for the month of July. Like, that went to support Empire, his children. And I don't know, I'm kind of fucked up behind it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's rough, and honestly, it's been far too frequent. Since I came in the comic book community, there've been 5 or 6 really good community members who just passed away. So, just a rough thing.
Yeah, I remember when we came in, like a few months into doing YouTube, Comic Jabroni was the first one to pass, and I was still new to YouTube and all that stuff. Then earlier this year, we lost a few people. Chad RCG comes to mind. who was an awesome dope cat. I had
The gentleman who was real close with Bueller. I didn't know him.
yes, Sam's Tangle Web.
Yeah.
I think it's also kind of like that shocking factor of like these are community members. It's us. You know what I mean? Like these are guys that are our age. Like they're doing the same thing we are. So it's like you kind of get a little bit of that where it's like, oh shit, you know. It's not like these are it's not like grandpa or anything that passes and you say, well, you know, he had a really good life. It's like, oh shit, this is you, this is me, this is all of us. And so that's where it's kind of a little more shocking as well. So
yeah, no, definitely. And that's why, you know, it's funny, for the last 2 months, I think I've made some changes in my life, like as far as how I eat and stuff like that, because we're not, you know, getting any younger. Like we're all middle-aged dudes, except Mark, you fucking young, handsome bastard.
I was about to say, fuck you.
Yeah, he was 46.
I should probably improve my diet as well.
Yeah, so you know, I've been making changes with my lifestyle and stuff like that. I lost a few pounds, which I'm happy about. But we need to take care of ourselves, and go to the doctor too. I mean, the big thing, especially, I don't know, I think maybe it's a manly man thing, or I don't know if it's just specific to, you know, the Hispanic community. But we we don't go to the doctor for some whatever reason. Which I need to change that.
I don't think that's exclusive to Hispanics. I don't like going because I'm a pussy. Like, what if something's wrong? What if they want to give me a shot?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, roll the intro. Let's go.
Yo, I hate Eagles.
He's like, I'm just a pussy. Hey, Finn. All right.
I want
He
to
said,
walk
hey.
into my studio.
Yo, JPG is an awesome cat, man.
no, that was awesome. That was great.
All right, so if I heard correct, we got an Illuminati Ninja Fuck exclusive coming soon. We're all gonna be characters on issue 38. What other fallacies can we announce? What do you guys want to talk about? You want to talk about the Dune trailer?
What's on the agenda? What Dune?
Dune. You want to talk about Dune?
Dune 2.
I
Dune 2.
haven't seen it yet.
Is this Dune 2 or is this part 2?
Dune Part 2.
Yeah, part 2 is what it is. Let's not call it Dune 2. Let's call it what it is. It's part 2. They left off with dude on the freaking sandworm, and then black screen. Remy Q's pissed off. So 2 years later, we get part 2. All right. I watched the trailer. I'm hyped. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm excited. I hate the lag. I hate part 1s and part 2s. I love a movie, even if the movie's garbage for hours, and then it builds up to like a grand finale in the last 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes of something great. That'll make it for me. The part 1, part 2, I'm done with this shit. And then to make us wait, I hate it. But I watched the trailer. It looks good. I don't see 25 minutes of slow motion blue eyes. I'm excited about that. I think we're going to get into some action. Again, they left us with a good cliffhanger, so let's go. Part 2. Anybody else? Who else?
Mark, what were your thoughts?
I thought it looked great. That's all there is to it. They don't seem to spoil too much. There's not a lot of dialogue in it, which I think that might be the secret to modern modern trailers. If they would leave like a lot of dialogue out, you know, just give you little clips. That's all it takes. But it looked beautiful. The special effects look great. It looks like we're getting a lot more sandwormagism. We did see a return of one character who was left me wondering at the first part.
Which character is that?
Josh Brolin's character, was it Gunner or something like that?
I don't even remember what happened in the first one. And I love the first one.
When the House Atreides gets raided, you know, Momoa fights his way out. And like they said, like the big problems with even going against the House Atreides was Momoa and Brolin. Those two people alone scared that entire army. And Momoa, you saw why. And with Josh Brolin's character, he grabbed a couple guys, rallied, and ran with just a handful of guys straight at the army coming at him. And that's the last time we saw him. So I'm hoping we get a cool flashback and kind of see how like capable he is, you know, because he's the one that trained everyone, including Jason Momoa. So I think there's a lot of cool stuff I'm excited for. I haven't spoiled myself with this story. I haven't gone back and like watched the old movies or read the books. I'm trying just to hold off for just experience it as the new movies come out. So
I'm sorry.
Part 1 again though?
Huh?
Have you watched part 1 again?
I've watched it a handful of times.
I haven't watched it again. I need to watch it again.
Yeah, I've watched it a handful of times. I like it.
Did you say I haven't soiled myself with this movie?
I haven't spoiled myself. I try not to soil myself either. It happens every now and then.
Don't soil
And when was
yourself.
the last time you soiled yourself?
Uh,
When was the last time you soiled yourself? Me neither. We don't keep track.
theme park in the parking lot.
Yo, that's a
as
good
we're
question.
arriving, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work. I don't know what to do. We're gonna have a problem. Like it wasn't even leaving; it was as we're arriving. It's awful.
Just let it rip.
I made it to the woods, but it was still it wasn't a good situation. It wasn't good. It was did we bring a bathing suit? Logan was young. He said, "Daddy, do you need a diaper?" And I was like, "Fuck." Like, we laughed about it, but I was like, "Shit, man." Yeah.
Yo, you gotta let one rip once in a while. Yo, I remember I was fucking. Yo, I went. Oh shit.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, we went to dinner with somebody. It was us and my boy and his wife, and we go to dinner, and then we did one of those things where it was just like, yo, we parked at the same garage, but we were just like, yo, we're gonna just go over here and grab a drink because they had to leave. They're like, all right, fine. So then an hour later, we go to the garage and we're passing, and literally like right on the curb, like by the two cars, is a giant pile of shit. So I'm like, ew, these New York bums are nasty. So as we're driving, my guy calls me. He was like, yo, does your stomach hurt? I was like, no. He was like, yo, I think that food fucked me up. I had to take a shit in front of the parking garage. I was like, that was you? Oh, yucky. So Dune. How do we segue from that? The trailer.
Did we see Gore the God Butcher in there? I want to know that because I don't know these characters. It looked like Gore the God Butcher.
I'm assuming that's like Stellan. No, who's that? Which guard is that?
Elvis.
No, that's
Elvis.
The pale dude is actually Austin Butler, the guy who played Elvis.
Yeah, is it the son of the big guy though?
It's the son of the big guy, yeah.
That's what I assumed from the trailer. That's his son. He's been grooming to be the next leader one day.
Awesome. So speaking of grooming, we have some Ezra Miller updates.
That Ezra Miller update. He broke the silence.
Good transition there.
That was a good segue.
I had to jump at that one. I had to.
Yeah.
Throwing these softballs there.
The parking lot shit, you can't segue. This one was pretty nice. It's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
That's what was told you in confidence, DJ.
I apologize, Austin. I apologize. You should have paid for dinner that night, sir. So Ezra Miller broke his silence over that what was it? It was the case where they accused him of whatever. Like it was a dumb case from the beginning, if I'm gonna be honest.
It was it's actually tied to a lot of this stuff. Like how, like people were like talking about him putting his hands on that girl years ago. Like when he like grabbed that person by the throat and like put them down, that wasn't a random person. That was like the aforementioned person in this case that has been like
With the 12-year-old?
Huh?
With the 12-year-old?
No, this isn't the stuff that they're talking about right now. Isn't about the 12-year-old that's actually like a grown adult. But this is talking about the restraining orders and the protective orders against that person that he put his hands on. Who's been actively like an issue for years. That there's restraining orders against her and all this and that. It seems complicated and like was an unnecessary thing for the media to get into, but turns out the media got fed the story from her and her little circle of people, and that's what ran. And the reason why he's been silent and he hasn't been attending court because of those protective orders and stuff. And now apparently it finished out in court and she got baptized.
First stop. It's not he. It's they.
Okay.
Remy Q, go.
Oh, so I read the statement. Are you saying it was released because everything got settled out then? Is that why this came out? So it has nothing to do with the movie or anything? Like, I didn't know if they were waiting and then they were like, oh, we got to release something because it's not doing as well or something. Like, I didn't know if it was because of the courts or because of the
I think this is
studio?
I think this is just getting finished out in court, from my understanding. This whole little restraining order thing that he's had with that girl from those years ago, like that. That's how long this stuff takes. Like, you remember before there was ever like this whole
Time out. It's not girl, it's woman.
Before him and this chick ever had it out in that video, and he put his hands on her.
You know that broad?
Yeah, that broad. And yeah, this is how long like there's been issues.
Come here, you broad.
The dame.
It took.
That's how long this has been going on. So I can't even imagine how long it's going to take for like a lot of this other stuff to get played out. But this is the first time that he's made a public statement about any of this stuff, because they've kept Ezra in the basement and out of the media light, which really hurt the film, not having anybody to actually promote the film that's a part of the film. Keaton was busy doing stuff and could only do limited things. They had Sasha Calle as the only person going around able to do stuff. Normally you have like the night circuit shows and this and that, and they weren't able to do any of that.
So Journey says, so if he was innocent, if they were innocent, then what happens to her for falsely accusing him? He's asking for a friend.
That's honestly that's honestly a good question. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Like, they should definitely counter stuff like that. Like, ruins people. Now,
Yeah,
there's been a second statement that that statement I sent you was like a part of it. There's more to it than that, where he admits to like wrongdoing and having put his hands on her, like in that video and stuff like that. And because that piece of the statement that I sent you, and it seemed kind of like blamish. You know what I mean? Like, I'd understand being mad and everything, but I know stuff has to run through PR people, and it came off as a little bit blamish. So it's actually a really long statement that it's not just him speaking. Like, it's legal team people speaking as well on why he wasn't out in public, like defending himself against these allegations, which like anybody that stopped and looked into him could see like where, yeah, there's truth to this situation, but ridiculous media slant to it. And it was because all the information was coming from the actual criminal in the case.
So, Nick, as someone who has faced similar crimes or been accused of similar crimes, what do you think about this?
I'm a predator as well.
Hi, Nick.
Yeah, it's just every single night I go through the scenario where I'm able to be in that part of Brooklyn again so I can mete out my justice. But it hasn't happened as of yet.
So we mentioned, soon, very, very soon. We mentioned Toots, Broad, and Chick earlier.
I said Dame.
Mm-hmm. No, but specifically Toots, Broad, and Chick were all words said by Comic Journey within 3 minutes.
Somehow weaved in the same sentence without a comma. That was pretty weird.
Look, Toots, I like my drinks cold when Broads give them to me. All right, Chick?
Chick rocks you, Dame. See?
Yeah. What about hands in the air?
How did he turn into a 1920s gangster all of a sudden? He's like a Dick Tracy villain all of a sudden.
He's running a speakeasy.
Oh, shit. Nick, you saw Indiana Jones, correct?
I did.
Anyone else?
Actually, the theater, we went at 3:45 on Thursday. Theater wasn't, I wouldn't say crowded, but there was a good number of people there.
Were they all related to Harrison Ford?
No, they were all of a certain demographic that I may or may not be in. But yeah, I mean, I went into this movie having very, very low expectations. Like I thought I would hate the movie from jump. And I actually wound up liking it.
Yeah, that's what the consensus is. Even
it was an Indiana Jones.
A lot of people did, and that's probably why it's that much better. I don't think anybody's going in there thinking this is going to be, Yeah,
I was especially worried about the CGI, and I thought they did a pretty good job of de-aging him in the beginning. Like, I tried to look for flaws in the beginning, and really weren't many.
It's funny because Hot Toys just announced the Indiana Jones figures and each figures come with prunes.
Prunes are good though.
I think that
I've never had a prune in my
I
life.
wonder how much like the pre-movie hype helps this one. You know what I mean? Where it hurt the Flash, where everyone went in with like these ridiculous expectations because we were told to, you know, by everybody. With Indiana Jones going into it, everyone's baptizing it. You know, like it's having the complete opposite pre-movie traction that the Flash did, and then you get here and people are like, "Yo, I didn't expect it to be as good as it was after hearing all that, and I enjoyed it." Josh Gates, you know, from Expedition Unknown, he saw it and put out his spoiler-free review. He said that he thought it was great.
What did Dan Merle give it? Did Dan Merle give it a high green? Because I live by his scale of the cut.
Yeah, I haven't watched his. I watched his the video he put out back before the embargo was lifted, when he saw it early, and that was before he adopted my movie color scale. But he put out a new one today, the spoiler version. No, I'm honored that he pretends like he didn't know.
It's literally the exact
same colors.
Yo, come on, Dan Merle. You're giving us Dan's a bad name, sir. And Merle's.
No, Dan Merle is awesome. The fact that he was so responsive in the comments about it blew my mind.
I'm not saying it was a great movie. It wasn't fantastic. I wouldn't say that the characters were as likable as Indy's father.
There we go.
But yeah, it was a good
movie. You
movie.
need to flip those words. He gave it a Legion green.
I was gonna say that's what it is. We got Green Legion. We got a Legion green. Was it better than Kingdom Skull? Yeah, Kingdom Skull.
Yes.
Skull Kingdom. Skull.
It did feel like Indiana.
Skull.
It did feel like an Indiana Jones movie. My major gripe with it might have been one action scene too long. But I
enjoyed like the staircase in John Wick too long.
No, don't get me started on that.
Up and then back down, and then up again, and then back down, and then up again.
You didn't have to go back up because it just kept going.
We're running out of time. We got to get to this thing.
He had to be the fittest human in the history of humans, John Wick. The ending for me was
Crystal Skull
was what got me.
So did it end on a cliffhanger and we were getting another Indiana Jones movie?
No,
it doesn't end with them riding off into the sunset. It's not an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, I don't want it's been well documented that this is the last time that he's playing the character.
And everyone knows that they're doing the classic Disney female swap. That's what they're attempting to do with this one. I hope that they just let it lie. Let this be the final one. Don't even try to move the franchise. Just let it be.
Yeah, and I'm hoping they don't give the franchise to that character because she was not likable at all.
Ironically, that was my last Pornhub search. Female swap.
I think they they mentioned Shy dying, right, in war, not directly, but insinuating it. He has a son. Mutt is his son. They introduced
it. Yeah, all right. So in that case, yes, they
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, they insinuate he dies in war. That's why he's not in the franchise anymore.
What would a female Laura Croft? Is that what that would be?
Laura Croft is tight.
I'm just saying, is that what a female Indiana like? That's right.
In parallel universes.
You never got that.
Well, John Wick is the best movie so far this year. John Wick. So overall, Nick, what is your rating of this Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny film?
I'd have to give it 7.5 decapitated digits.
Very nice. So that equals like what, a 5?
No. That's a solid 7.5. Out of 10, I give it like a 7.5. I wouldn't run out to see it again, but I was surprised with how much I enjoyed it.
Because they didn't want to put him back in the franchise. He has the wrong gear for the franchise.
Yes.
What do you mean the wrong gear?
He's not.
A penis.
Yeah, he's got a dick. They don't want nothing to do with it. If they're gonna pass the torch at Disney, it's not gonna be to someone with a dick. I mean, that's their thing.
They might give it both. They might give the next one both.
Are we still talking about Tomb Raider?
Here's the transition. There's a transition to another topic. Here's your transition.
Nice.
I don't know. We got to come up with something. Boom. So we got casting. What are you doing?
Who's Idris Elba playing?
I wish Idris Elba was in that movie.
Huh?
Yeah, everything's better with Idris Elba.
Are we going to talk about Corn Sweat? Are we talking about Corn Sweat?
No,
I'm ready to talk about Corn Sweat. I did a lot of research on this. Watched the movie.
no, I just got scared. Mrs. Link's just come in here because I have a chair by the door, and she just starts grabbing the chair. I'm just like, why are you taking the chair?
Oh shit! Who's there?
She's trying to sit down. You let her sit down.
No, she's not allowed.
It's time for her to have a break, DJ. Golly.
No, you stand up in the corner, miss. Rewind. What were we talking about?
Did I tell you you could sit? Did I tell you you could sit? Is it 10:45 yet? You're not allowed to sit down.
I did watch Sleeping with the Enemy earlier today, by the way. I just didn't get to the ending.
Is that Julia Roberts?
Julia Roberts. Hey, babe, come in this bathroom. Look at these towels.
I think that was the only movie I fell asleep on.
Because it had a terrible ending, right, for you?
I don't even remember what I saw a movie. I saw 2/3 of that movie one day.
Yeah, it was an awesome comedy up until the end.
So what about Idris Elba? Yeah, Idris Elba is now in Superman.
Corn Sweat from Tyler's backyard. Let's talk about Corn Sweat.
No, I meant both set of paraphernalia, Miss. So.
No, he meant
He meant an innie and an outie.
Hermaphroditic.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
That's ladies and gentlemen, first time hermaphrodites were mentioned on In the Mix. We've reached the milestone.
No, it's just got
there ain't no way that was the first time.
Yeah,
We've been at this a while.
I'm not breaking new ground.
Are we talking about Corn Sweat yet? Corn Sweat. Let's get
Silver
on
Night
the Corn
Kyle.
Sweat.
Silver Night Kyle keeps tabs on what we say.
Oh,
Will you put the graphic up?
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
Deep cut.
Corn Sweat. There he is.
What the fuck is Corn Sweat?
Corn Sweat. That's what that guy's name
the guy, David Corn Sweat.
Corn Sweat. All right, you get this. Everybody loves this guy as the new Superman. I did my research on it. They love it
Just like Cavill.
because he looks like fucking Henry Cavill. Yeah, that's what it is. That guy's the Wish.com Henry Cavill. You know why you like him? It's the same fucking dude. I watched a movie with it. I thought I was watching Henry Cavill from 10 years ago. It's the same thing.
This is Henry Cavill.
Likes it.
This is
You're
Henry
like, oh, good
Cavill.
pick. You picked a Henry Cavill that's younger. That's it.
But isn't that their goal? Is to? It's kind of like Brandon Roth. You know what I mean? He looked like Christopher Reeve when they got him. Like Superman has a look.
Watched a political movie with this guy in it. I knew nothing about it, and I fell in love with him instantly because I like Henry Cavill as Superman.
This is if Henry Cavill starred in Philadelphia with Denzel Washington. Henry Cavill will be Tom Hanks at the beginning of the movie.
Hey, Corn Sweat. Hold on. Corn Sweat's. I think he's beefed up for the film. They got some pictures of him, or they've photoshopped him. He's a bit Nicky 9.5.
I tell you what, though, the way
He's not the full 9.5.
The way Idris Elba's staring at me, he's like looking into my soul right now.
It looks like he's like, this guy looks just like Henry Cavill.
Wait a minute, that's not Cavill? That's what he's thinking. That's not Cavill?
Like,
I thought that was 2004 Henry Cavill. It's not. It's
Hey,
Corn
I'm the
Sweat.
marvelous Mrs. Mabel. Hey, that's me. I'm Lois.
This cunt looks like Cavill.
Yeah, I don't think that we've had a bad
you know
casting
what?
job as Superman. We know we have to get a younger actor into Superman if they're going to carry a franchise for X number of years. If they're going to try to fix his branding, it's good that they got somebody. It's not like a jarring casting call. It's like, dude looks like what we know to be Superman. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? I looked at it and I was like, I get it. I get it.
Yo,
You
Corn
got a
Sweat is
younger
6'4"?
Cavill.
Yo, I am all for this casting. Yeah, I thought Henry Cavill was amazing, but I get what they're doing. It's a new era. You got a clean house. Bye.
But do you think it's acceptable because he looks like Henry Cavill? Because that's what I did. I was like, all right, you did it.
I mean,
Like,
they're all like different versions of the same person, though.
Yeah, but remember when they did Superman Returns and everybody was like, oh, yeah, that guy looks like Christopher Reeves. This'll work. You know what I mean? And then they brought in Henry Cavill, who's like a beefcake, and they're like, well, wait a minute. This guy's different. Then you watch him, though, and you're like, well, that was fucking awesome. And then it's like, so you got to be able to like, well, okay, Mark, I know. Look, I like Henry Cavill.
I do too, but I think it's very important to remember that
Cavill.
people did not like Cavill until like the last, till he was gone.
I did. I was just like, this guy's a dreamy beefcake.
Well, it's going to be hard to find people on this platform in our audience that probably disliked him because this is like the niche market for people to like comic book property stuff. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But he has to work for a bigger audience.
I don't know. I was blown away when I saw that guy, and I was like, "Y'all picked Cavill." Now the Lois Lane, I didn't.
Oh man, I love it.
I don't care. I didn't even. Yeah, I was worried about Superman. You can pick any Lois Lane out. That's fine. I was worried what you're gonna do with Superman.
What's pretty cool was like as soon as they announced that like we're going to be recasting Superman, they've been blasting fan edits of this guy from day one. Like you've been looking at him like this is clearly listening to the fans. You know what I mean? Because it's not the normies out there making those fan edits. It's people that feel invested in this and want to see something like like with the Reed Richards thing they did. The fan casting John. Krasinski,
like I do.
I not to switch gears, but I also hear that guy may be out also.
Oh yeah, that was only ever meant to be a fan service moment.
No, I'm talking about Adam Driver out as Reed Richards.
Oh, I thought you meant Krasinski coming in.
Oh yeah, no, I think the Adam Driver. What's up, Esteban? The Adam Driver.
Hold your hand.
I know. Hi. Hello, Esteban. That was a peace sign, just to make it clear. They Adam Driver and Adam Driver and Margot Robbie. Their price tag was too much. They probably
because they were worth it.
Yeah, 100%. Nick, what do you think about this casting of Corn Sweat?
Corn Sweat, Tyler's backyard.
I don't know. Like I said, he looks like a Cavill to me, but I do enjoy the Lois casting because I think she's hot. Looks a little bit like Jennifer Aniston to me. And after the past two,
Jennifer Aniston?
After the past two Lois,
I was gonna say Jay Leno.
No. The one on the TV show is just terrible. Amy Adams wasn't bad, but I don't think she was hot enough. But this one is kind of cute.
It's Hot Pam.
I don't.
Hot Pam.
First of all, Nick,
Hot Pam, but that was a long time ago too. So,
yeah.
Who's Hot Pam? Oh, from The Office when Amy Adams was selling the purses.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh man, classic. That was a classic. Oh shit, yeah. Oh wow. Oh yeah. Oh.
What are we pondering on?
Hot Pam from The Office.
Hot Pam from The Office.
Hot Pam.
Stop objectifying women, people.
I said Cavill.
Hey, pop that picture up again. Let me see.
So with the home run there.
Yeah, I need you to John Madden her forehead right now.
Yeah, it is. It is a little bit big, but she wears it well.
Wow.
Now
I
I
feel
can
like so scenic.
So good with everybody.
Notes.
I like that.
She does look like the girl from Westworld. The girl from Westworld would have been good too. She's a phenomenal actress.
Oh, she's hot too. Yeah.
I think the actor that looks like Henry Cavill looks hot. I think Henry Cavill's hotter than that guy.
Oh yeah,
that guy's very attractive though, and like I said, I was watching that movie with him, and I was sold. I was like, yeah, I get it.
Listen, that guy can't cock his forearms in the bathroom with the mustache like Cavill.
I mean, you can't say cock, bathroom, forearms, all in the same sentence.
Sure you can.
How not joking, but how tall is this guy?
6'4".
Corn Sweat 6'4". Put a cape on it.
I'm telling you, Tyler's backyard.
See,
they found that
corn.
They literally found him.
He was out in the field. They were like, that guy right there. Yeah, the guy standing up next to Tyler, above all the stalks of corn. That guy, Corn Sweat.
Speaking of Tyler, big shout out to Tyler. He had to work tonight. That's why he's not here. So we love you, Tyler, and we miss you.
We do love you, Tyler.
You know, I actually texted him that earlier in the week.
Wow.
Let's see if I can get the exact terminology when
I texted him. I was like, what up, Corn Sweat?
no, I texted him. I says, I miss you, you big corn-fed dummy.
Jesus Christ.
I miss you. I forget what it was. Something like that.
That's right, Esteban. That is right. Equality, baby.
Y'all say objectify. I say honor.
No, that is
Admire.
But back, let's wrap up this corn sweat. I think phenomenal casting. I don't think there's ever been a bad Superman casting. I've never seen the what's his name? Dean Cain. I've never seen his shit.
Fantastic.
But I think every Superman that was has been awesome. With my Christopher Reeve is Superman. Christopher Reeves is Superman. Henry Cavill is my Superman. I love Henry Cavill. I'm hoping Corn Sweat will do all right, which I think he is. It's pretty easy to do all right. As
it's going to depend on the material he's working with.
That's what it is.
Cavill is working on that.
That guy's a sucky Superman. It's like, what?
Yo, you know what I don't understand about Superman? Check this out. And I don't know if I ever brought this up. How does he shave and get a haircut if there isn't a blade on Earth that can penetrate his skin or his hair or whatever?
Mirror and heat vision.
Fingernails.
Mirror and heat vision as well.
Just does that.
Mirror and heat. This guy fucking answered the question like a G.
And now, do we assume that his hair grows? And
well, Superman from the show, Tyler, whatever his name is, he has like 5 o'clock shadow.
I don't like the laser to mirror. So I remember in the Justice League book and tape, which I have right next to me, when Darkseid does the Omega effect or whatever, Batman comes from the corner and pulls out this little tiny mirror like this big, and it bounces off of it. I was like, that's stupid. Your laser bounces off of the mirror. Get out of here. I get all laser bounces off the mirror, but that laser.
Look at this Superman love in the chat. You got some people that are Superman fans out there that know.
No, I don't buy the laser mirror.
No George Reeves or Ben Affleck coming.
Superhuman fingernails. Like a beast.
So I want to move on from Henry Cavill, but I just have to end it on this. I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League again today.
Jesus, Maddie and Drew.
10 out of 10, still.
Yo, still. That means I think I've seen it once a week for like the last month.
Yeah, because I mean it's a week long, so you can only watch it.
I'll watch it. I'll just throw it on. It's not like I'm sitting there like, just oh my god, like I'm editing a video and then it's on. Like I'll just throw it on. Like it's a masterpiece. And everything that they did with Flash at the end,
amazing,
so fantastic. Just to
every time that you see that ending scene, like it's just goosebumps, just immediately as soon as he puts his hand out, like that whole moment, you're amazing. Just it was nuts. And then when he's talking to his dad and how it calls back to the conversation that they had when he visited him the last time in the jail, like hours ago in the film, when his dad's like, you got to stop coming here. You have the potential to be one of the best of the best, and I'm holding you back. And he's like, Dad, I just want you to know I was one of them. One of the best of the best.
That's me. Whenever I'm in trouble, I'm going to do that. Whenever I'm in trouble or something, or like at work, they'd be like, hey, where are these expense reports? I'm just going to stand up in the conference room and go,
I'll give you $1 million if you run up and down your office the way he runs in the movie.
Throwing invisible frisbees. I'm playing frisbee. Yo, I loved it. Loved it, man. And then they just, whatever. Here's another transition for the agenda. You guys caught up on Secret Invasion?
I wouldn't say caught up because I didn't watch the first episode, but the second episode I did watch and I enjoyed it.
Yo, what did you enjoy about it? Without like going into spoilers and stuff like that. Because I want to say watched it. I don't think Mark watched it.
The pace of it, the content, kind of the way it propelled the story forward, I really enjoyed it, and there were a couple of shocking scenes within. So I kind of dig it. I also liked the character introduction of a certain person in the middle of the episode.
Yes. I thought the episode was fantastic. I'll even go out on a limb and say it was one of the best episodes of a Marvel show to date. That shit felt like a movie. The dialogue was fantastic. The acting was superb. Them spending time on character development, which is needed. It's not all about action scenes and this and that. Character development is an art form, and I think this episode pulled it off masterfully.
And masterfully.
What show are y'all talking about?
Secret Invasion.
Oh my god, I thought you were talking that you finally watched Superman and Lois. I was about to say you're caught up.
The rants between Rhodey and Fury just turned me off. So you were turned on before.
Well, I was about to say this episode was hit or miss for me. There was bad in parts and it was decent in parts. I like the idea of the show, like the spy thriller and all that. Those moments that make a good spy thriller are hollow in this. You need those moments like with Rhodey sitting there with Fury in the restaurant, like going back and forth to build that kind of spy thriller suspense, all this. And that moment was terrible. The dialogue sucked. Those two characters. What? Those two characters as actors had zero chemistry in that, and it felt like the writing had been edited to where it wasn't a smooth back and forth. Like there's these weird pauses between them talking and stuff, and what one person said, like the responses, it was just so off. Like I was watching it and I was like, I'm doing a double take. I'm like, what is happening right now in the production on this scene? Like go back and watch that scene. There was something production wise off with that scene. Now, as far as Nick Fury banging a scroll at the end of it, I'm wondering now if he's a scroll or if he's just banging scrolls or what's going on with that. But I think the villain, we finally get to see him do a little cool little scene. But the action scene that was in it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. It was just mediocre, just going in and shooting some people in a meat locker.
But you know what I think is missing from this show?
Not your idea of a meat locker, huh?
Oh yeah. I've seen better, but it's passable.
What I miss in this show is like that anticipation of who might be a Skrull. Like I don't really feel that just yet. You know, because we kind of see people in this episode, and immediately we found out they're Skrulls.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Jack Ryan is up to season 4.
Yeah, they need. We know we only have 6 episodes. They need to do that, and like they should have already given us one. They need to by episode 2. They probably should have showed us that maybe this Rhodey is a Skrull or something like that. So we start second guessing everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, we can live under the assumption that any of these characters that we know and love can be Skrulls, you know, and I don't know. We definitely don't have that. That was the big thing about the comic. You know, you don't have to match the comic. You know, way you can in scope and scale in this, but like that's one of those essences of it that makes it like they're like this invasion is huge. It's beyond. Well, show us. All you're doing is telling me. You're telling me. I don't believe you.
And the show that did that masterfully was Battlestar Galactica, the second one.
Nerd.
Listen, if you guys have not watched that second iteration, it was fantastic.
The one with Edward James Olmos?
Yeah.
That's who comes to mind for you?
Selena's dad?
Well,
dad. Isn't that the show with Bo-Katan in a red dress?
Yep. No, she didn't play the red dress. She played Starbuck. Nah, whatever. I am a nerd. But that was
her name was Starbuck?
I remember it being
she was a gender swap from
the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad, like back in the VHS stage, you know, growing up, like I'd help him record the originals when they came out because you couldn't buy stuff like that. And when it came on TV, if you wanted to have it, you put the cassette in and hit the record.
Listen, that second iteration, a great show. It was a great show.
You hear that, Toots? Who watches Battlestar Galactica?
I'm with Mike V all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I remember
use lotion in your chafe.
I used to be scared of V. Like my mother watched V in the living room, and I would be like poking my head out, playing with my toys, and I'll be like that. Like, oh my god, it's a lizard face.
Everyone's scared of V until
they're eating rats.
Are you talking about Zelda from Pet Sematary?
You were scared of
that shit scared me. Golly.
Which Pet Cemetery, the first one or the second one?
I hate that movie.
The first one was Zelda in it.
Fred Gwynn?
She was the secret they kept in the back room. Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then the lady has a dream on the plane. Gage and I are coming to get you. I was like, what the fuck? Change the channel, dude. Just turn it off.
No shit. Listen, use. Galactica is no good, use.
I can see him saying it like this.
Oh, yeah.
With the chest hair hanging out.
She told me I wasn't going to let her in. I mean, she was going to let me in, blah, blah. Yeah, I got to give away this links box, too. I totally forgot. And I'm on the new computer, so I don't even have the wheel of names, like, nice. It's like, I totally forgot until now.
Boom, 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 boom.
Taylor Win the rig. What's going on? Oh, good, perfect timing. We're about to give away the links box.
Taylor missed his boy JPG? What?
He's probably already heard it on his channel.
No, big shout out to JPG. I guess the last. It's funny. I wrote down watch Transformers movie. I've never seen the Transformers movie, the old school cartoon.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. I need to watch that in Iron Giant.
Iron Giant is a 10 out of 10.
And then they had the G.I. Joe movie in there too.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe movie is a 10 out of 10.
Iron Giant.
So last topic of the day before we get to this links box. Oh man. So when I wrote this down on this piece of paper, it was a Jonathan Majors update. So the update was, he was attacked by his significant other, whatever. They were about to arrest her. He's looking vindicated. And literally an hour before we went live, some story broke out on the Rolling Stone. They interviewed like 40 people and documented like this entire history of like physical and like emotional abuse and him just being mean to people at he went to Yale and on sets and stuff like that. Did you see any of that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, they said his abuse was going on for like 10 years already.
And my thought is, if someone's doing that for 10 years, isn't it odd that they made it this far?
The timing is just a coincidence.
After watching how the media is like slanted and just the way that they jump on a story and run with the most fantastic version of it, they knew that the sub blew up 3 days before they ever told us. You know what I'm saying? Like the media is full of shit these days. Like, I'm just using that as an example. I mean, like being honest here, like the stuff coming out with Ezra that just dropped today, vindicating him on a lot of stuff that the media was running on. Like I'm holding fast to the dude's innocent until they prove he's guilty. Fuck everything else.
Yeah, no,
guilty. I'll just go with that.
Of course, but we need something to talk about on our program tonight.
Yeah.
Alleged. We just need to say alleged.
Alleged program.
No, I'm talking about not the program.
Let's give away the links box.
Links box.
All right, let's give away the links box and then we're gonna get out of here. And then, oh man.
So where do y'all stand on this dude? I'm curious to hear.
I don't even know who are we talking about.
Kang.
Atticus from Lovecraft Country. Fantastic show.
That was a good one.
Where do I stand? Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. In the court, innocent until proven guilty, but in the court of public opinion, it'll be guilty until proven innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, what up, Pops?
Yeah, if anyone's like rocking with the public opinion over figuring out their own opinion, that's the problem in itself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping everything is fine. It's not looking good right now in the court of public opinion. With the Rolling Stone piece, what I don't like about situations like that, and specifically about the Rolling Stones piece, is where everyone, the 40 people that they interviewed, everyone wanted to remain anonymous. So for me, that's not a concrete source if you're just going to be anonymous. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like...
What are the odds? 0 out of 40 people.
Huh?
What are the odds that 0 out of 40 people want to be anonymous?
Unless
there's like NDAs or something like that. So...
Yeah, and the funny thing is like that the NYPD now has evidence to arrest the accuser in this case. We brought the first thing to light. So
yeah, I'll be honest with you, like just without the 40 people, it doesn't look good for him. That the fact that at the scene the driver corroborated the story of her separately to the police officers. You know what I'm saying? That in itself, that's the most damning evidence there is. Like, no one else matters in this case but the two involved, and there's only one other person in the car, and that was the paid driver. So that in itself looks bad for him. Like, I don't know if he's innocent or guilty, but it doesn't, from the information that we have from the police report, it doesn't look good.
Yes, I just want to comment on Dirge. So he says most females remain anonymous in those situations. Out of the 40 people, he was only romantically linked to 2 of them. So the 40 people includes people that were in his acting class. They didn't, disclose genders or whatever. The crew that worked on movies, on TV shows and stuff like that, as he was an upcoming actor. He was only romantically linked to 2 of those people.
What other cases does he have against him? How many open cases does he have?
That's not the only case.
How many people did he beat up since he got discharged for getting into this argument with his significant other?
No, that's news. T, if there's because I always thought it was the one that's on now, but there were accusations, just not like full blown cases. So just accusations. But if there is other cases, I mean, please.
Yeah, I think they're building more off of just his character. They're trying to, this may be the only case, but they're trying to build off of what his character is.
Yeah. No, Miss So made a point. I remember saying that when it first popped off. It's like you give Ezra a million chances. You got to
I'm not doing the whataboutism thing.
Yeah.
I think both of them need to just be innocent until proven guilty.
See, Pops guys, the court of public opinion, like we said. But he was an awesome king. I hope he remains.
Yeah, dude, I still think his best performance was in Lovecraft Country. Like, that's where I was sold on him. And that show started like right when HBO Max kicked off, and it is phenomenal.
I need to watch that, man.
Like, it is damn. Well, I would watch it before they cancel it.
Cool. Thanks, T.
Well, never mind. It's not Disney.
You think they're gonna pull it off? Like. Let's give away this links box. Shout out to Jonathan Majors, or not shout out to Jonathan Majors.
Shout at Jonathan Majors.
I can't stream American Beauty anymore, and it's one of my favorites.
Yo, you what? American Beauty? You can't talk about American Beauty on here?
That's what I'm saying. See?
What?
Phenomenal.
Taylor, allegations against somebody are not like charges or cases. He has one charge, one case, and 40 people making allegations. So there's just one.
Yeah. All right. So
until there's more, but for now it's just the one he's dealing with.
You're not for nothing. I forgot who was here. Like, we were talking about movies, and we were like, "Yo, you never seen The Usual Suspects?"
Awesome.
Yeah, I threw The Usual Suspects on, man, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like, once they showed your boy, and I was just like, "Oh man, let me pretend." You separate the art from the individual. It's Kaiser Soze, huh?
You talking about Spacey?
We don't mention his name. It's Kaiser Soze.
Yo, Benicio del Toro in that movie is.
He'll flip you.
Flip for real.
Flip you for real.
A Winded Manifesto.
Give me the fucking keys, you fucking cocksucker. Again in English, please. Give me the fucking keys, you fucking cocksucker. What the fuck?
I agree, CJ.
Give me the fucking keys, you fucking cocksucker, motherfucker.
Classic. There was no Coke.
I've been in every fucking room. All right, let's give away this league.
Yeah, I don't see how the media outlets these days, like all of them, aren't getting charged with slander.
I've been in every fucking room. I've been in every room.
Ooh, look at this ugly wheel of names.
Yo, I apologize. I need to do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I even do this, hold up.
Needs more green.
Hold up, wait a minute. I need to I'll ask Dan Murrell if I could borrow some green.
Some of that Legion green.
Nobody, no one. All right, let me show you what is in the links box for this month of June. So we got Ghost Lore #1. This is the 1 per store variant, so that's pretty dope. Night Terrors. This was the
Yes.
This is the foil version. Vampirella versus the Superpowers.
Hey now.
Fury Comics exclusive by Ben Harvey. Fantastic cover. That's a dope ass cover. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Street Fighter Virgin variant with Ken with the flaming fist, very popular.
What's so funny, Nick?
Hip hop family tree. Hip Hop Family Tree number 6. This is the rare version signed by Ed Piscor
with the Ewings on.
Yeah, Ed Piscor. The Recount Preamble signed by Javon Jordan, COA. I don't have a COA for this one, but I have video footage of him signing it. Predator number 1, Ryan Brown.
Are we still laughing?
You have video? What is somebody ask you for that video?
I'll send you the clip. This is the Nasty number 1, Matt Wilson variant. So it's signed right there. And then beautiful remark by my guy, Matt Wilson.
Oh, wow. That is nice.
Matt Wilson is the truth. David Nakayama, Hulk number 11 Virgin, signed by David Nakayama. Do a Powerbomb number 1, signed by David Warren Johnson right there. Do a Powerbomb number 1. Then we got this Nate Made It foil.
Congrats to Nate.
Art print. This thing is dope. Nate made it. Bang.
Nate, you did it.
All right, now, so that was the Lynx box. And then Mark was just like, yo, that box sucks, DJ Lynx. And I was just like, all right.
Fuck up.
I was like, all right, fine, Mark. So we're gonna throw
some stank on it.
We're gonna throw some stank on it. Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 98, first appearance of The Spot.
Fire.
That's awesome.
Number 99, first cover appearance of The Spot.
We've officially made the box relevant.
Very relevant right now.
Very relevant. There it is. There it is.
And then
there it is.
There we go. This Transformers number 8.
Hey.
Yo, I literally, because I was looking for this Ninja Funk book, so I went to my LCS and then I went to another comic shop because the LCS didn't have it. They didn't have that. I didn't want to walk out empty-handed. First time I was at that shop, literally these 3 books were next to each other right there by the counter, and I was like, "Fuck it, just give me them." So that is what we are going to do. We are going to spin this wheel, add this to the stream.
Got some stank in there. I like it.
We are going to shuffle. Good luck to all the Link Squad Patreon members. And here we go. I have to fix this up. This thing looks terrible.
Wow, my government name is there.
Oh, that's straight from the Dawn.
Congrats.
Guy makes one appearance at Heroes Con. He gets to win the box.
It was a solid appearance, though.
It was.
Congrats to Jimmy the Don. Yeah. Jimmy the Don.
Awesome DJ Stank.
Tony Stank?
Is there a Tony Stank?
All right, that's for the Don.
Did any of y'all watch the Stan documentary that Disney put out? That's news since last time we were here.
I watched the first couple of minutes. I didn't get a chance to finish it though.
I'll be honest. I have no interest to watch the Stan documentary. If I'm
I haven't either. I don't plan on watching it. There's plenty of other ones that aren't produced by the Mouse that I'll be happy to watch.
The one that was on AMC a few years back.
That's it. Robert Kirkman made that. Enough said. And you know what he included in there is how great Stan is, his shortcomings, and the clip of Stan and Jack reconciling. What Disney did was blew smoke about how great Stan was and did the clip where Jack and Stan got into an argument. That shows you the difference in perspective of the people making these things. A comic book lover versus a corrupt company.
Yeah, no, the Kirkman one that's why I have no interest in watching it, because I heard about the one-sided stuff about him and Kirby, and I wasn't about that life. All right, gentlemen, I'm about to get out of here. What do you guys got going on?
I'm just gonna hang out here with your chat, I guess, for a while. You leaving?
Yeah, I'm out, man.
We got some robot stuff coming.
We got some robot stuff coming on.
All right.
I'm gonna start giving away hot toys out of DJ's room. Y'all down?
I'm for sure.
Son of a
Put in hashtag.
fucking small talk collectibles.
Yes, Taylor. I haven't watched it, and I'm pontificating. That's the word I'm doing. When a company produces a documentary about somebody and they quote mine him so that he can narrate the whole thing, that's a red flag. The fact that the Kirby estate came out and wrote a long-winded response to it, detailing a lot of it. And there's plenty of people that have came out and did commentary on it. That's how I knew about the clip. So I'm not just pontificating, I'm speaking about it.
I think I may just make a big town collectibles to combat small town collectibles. What do you think?
Big time collectibles?
Big town collectibles.
Big town.
Oh, big town collectibles. Medium town collectibles?
Yeah. 2 of them.
You think that'll get him back on the YouTube trend? A direct competitor, a nemesis?
Maybe. Where's all Louisville gear? Sure, I can see it.
It was good to see Jimmy the Don and
Small
Jason never
town.
could figure out at Heroes Con.
Right. That American Gladiators documentary is fantastic. as
Tiny
well.
Village collectibles.
Tiny Village collectible.
Maybe. Something like that.
Small parish collectibles.
Lucius Anderson. Was Lucius Anderson the first guy to win the American Gladiators thing?
I'm not sure. They don't really get into. They do highlight a few of the contestants because there are some that get really injured. And there's this one guy who, like, all of the gladiators at the time recognized as just like the coldest, most difficult contestant they ever dealt with. And they even had him on doing interview segments and stuff. And that guy has a wild story. He ends up leaving American Gladiators and becoming a human trafficker, bringing people over the border because he found and he ended up spending 2 years in a Mexican prison, getting caught and everything. And his the American Gladiators were so popular at the time that his status as a contestant, a returning contestant, allotted him special privileges and good time while he was locked up.
So if I hear you correctly, he won American Gladiators but lost Mexican Gladiators.
Oh, shit.
He ended up winning that too, apparently. He enjoyed his time there.
Hey, do you remember Average Joe? You remember that show? Where they just take regular dudes and like they get fucking in a boxing ring with like Randy Couture and just beat the shit out of them. It was great. They were like, all right, now you're gonna fight Randy Couture like when he's in his prime. It was great.
Is the new American Gladiators show better than the old 30 for 30 doc? I'm gonna say no. Those 30 for 30 docs are absolutely the best.
I don't know. It's like 4 hour long episodes. I just binged it when it came out.
Was
Hold on, wait a minute. I have to disagree here, Taylor. Some of that box cover art, that is definitely boner material.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the back of the VHS store, you literally gotta sneak past the curtains and you walk in. I'm just teasing, of course. What? Did I ruin it again? I ruined it again.
Hit the intro.
I ruined it again. I've been ruining the show all show, man. What do you guys got going on?
I'm going to go look at some VHS box art when I'm done here.
Nice. Nick?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to follow Mark into that room, I think.
No, you can. Only one person can be in that room.
I'm going to pontificate all over the covers.
Rem, what you got going on?
I am editing a film that Alistair and I watched today.
Oh, it happened?
So, yeah, hopefully that'll be released.
Yes.
I just need to finish editing it.
I hope it becomes a regular thing.
We didn't get into the big news of the day, though.
Huh? What's the big news of the day?
Strangers.
Oh, fuck that shit.
What?
He's talking about the junkie that passed out of my driveway. In my carport, and this guy goes, "Hey, man." And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I literally was bringing the dog in. And, of course, my dog starts getting all riled up. I was like, hold on. Let the dog in. The guy asked for a bottle of water and wanted to use the phone. So what happened was our neighbor, we had an elderly neighbor who had a caretaker. And Angel got to know the caretaker. I don't know any of these people. I don't know my neighbors. I don't talk to my neighbors.
Same.
None of that shit.
Same.
Angel knew the caretaker. Nice lady, but apparently her children are criminals. Like they're not allowed at the house. They would frequent the house and try to like steal shit or whatever. Like, you see this truck, call us because that truck's not supposed to be there type of thing. And this guy shows up and he wants to use a phone. Let him use the phone, and then he passes out in my driveway. And I'm like, fuck. So I had to call the ambulance. I had a fire truck outside. I have ambulance. The paramedics come down. And then I've got a neighbor lady who pulls up, and walks down the driveway. I'm going to tell you this. That lady alone was the one I wanted to go inside and grab my pistol and say, get the fuck off my driveway. Because I don't want any, there's no reason for an anonymous lady to get out of her white SUV and walk onto my property at all. Like the paramedics I get, she's sitting there. What are you going to do? Are you going to help? Are you going to help? We got medic here. If there's a fire in my house and that's the reason fire people are here, are you going to help? Get the hell off my property. Get the hell off my property, lady. I still don't know who it is. I don't know who it is. I want to drive around and find the SUV and walk on her driveway and be like, what now? What now? Oh, you don't want me here? Okay. I'll remove myself. Go back to my house, put on pants, and then put the shotgun away because that's how I came to your place. I didn't just anonymously walk here.
Did you tell her to get off your property?
No. It was the most awkward thing. She walks up and the paramedics are like, ma'am, do you live here? And she's like, no. She's like, I live around the corner. And literally I was just like, what are you doing? And she's looking at the guy and she's like smiling and she's looking at me to like give her some like reassurance that she should be there. And then realized, oh, this is awkward as hell. And she walked away. I was like, you never should have came down here. I don't know why I would never think to like, oh, there's paramedics here. Let me walk into the house or walk to the house and see if they need help. Are you kidding me? Get out of here.
North Carolina
Would have never happened if you were wielding a trident.
I wish I would have thought of the trident. I'll be honest. I didn't.
You should have came out, dude. You had to come out shirtless, trident, a Viking helmet like Flavor Flav used to wear.
I feel bad because I saw the guy fall, and I was so suspicious of him being there in the first place. I didn't run to like literally. I picked up my phone. I was like, "Hey man, do you need me to call an ambulance?" Like it was so slow. He's like, "Yeah." I called the ambulance. Like it's like the classic. You see somebody in the road, and then you like run out. You're like, "Are you okay?" And then somebody else gets in your car and fucking runs you over. Like I'll never let that situation happen.
Was he trying to pull a fast
road? I'll crack the window. Hey, do you need help? And then it's like, if they don't answer, I'll call. That's it. I'm not getting out.
Was he trying to pull a fast one, like falling on your property?
That's what I thought. Like I was watching him, because he was in the carport, which immediately I was like, we need to get out. So I walked him out of the carport into the driveway, and then he asked for my phone. So it was like one of those. I was in the stance, and I'll tell you, I can't run this guy down. That wasn't gonna happen. But I was prepared to get in the car and chase his ass and hit him for my phone. So that's what I thought too. I was like, "Oh, you steal my phone? Like, what are you doing here?"
It's right next to the retaining wall, DJ.
Yeah, no, I don't know what a carport is.
So carport is like a poor man's garage. All right. Imagine a garage, but you remove the door.
Oh, okay.
So it's open. It's just like a roof. It's still part of the house. It's not well, I guess you could have a separate carport, but ours is like connected to the house. It's just not enclosed.
Gotcha. Austin is 100% right. You're not gonna outrun a crackhead.
Nah, I knew that wasn't gonna happen. I knew that wasn't.
Yeah, I threw a party. Anyway, they were no, it was in Brooklyn, right? So they were building a school around the corner from my house, and before they were finished, like it was done and everything, go to the guy, same guy that owned the freaking laundromat, whatever, owns it, and I was just like, "Yo, I want to throw a party here, whatever," and he was just like, "Okay, whatever. It's a little dirty, just whatever, blah blah." So then they gave me the keys. I go, and there were 2 metal doors, like big ass metal security doors, not on the hinges, just there in the way. So I go to pick that shit up. I get my brother. I'm like, "Yo, help me pick this up." We could not budge this shit. I literally go across the street diagonal to the gas station. There were 2 crackheads there. I was just like, "Yo, I need help moving a door." So the guy was just like, "Oh, I got it. And then they start fighting about who's going to go help me. Yo, the dude comes. I'm like, "Don't walk directly behind me. Like, stay to the side." I was just like, "Yeah, I need to move those over there."
Red balls.
Yo, like pick those shits up like nothing. Like nothing. Shout out to Crackhead Strength. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is gonna be some bad news for the next 2 Fridays, I think.
or good news, depending.
Or good news, depending on how you feel about this show.
If you're a rival competitor.
Yeah, so in the mix, we're gonna take a 2-week hiatus. I'm actually going on vacation for the next 2 weeks, and the gentlemen have been so gracious not to do a show without me. I was like, "Yo, do the show! Like, if you guys wanted to do the fucking show," they said no. So we're gonna be on break for the next 2 weeks.
Can't wait to hear the stories that come back from that trip.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But there's no in the mix for 2 weeks.
Yeah, unless you guys want to do it. Unless you guys
Remy,
wanna
will
do
there
it.
be an out the mix?
The Remy remix, maybe.
There you go.
Maybe.
Izzy, that's what I do, man. Nah, so we tried to go live from Heroes Con. We just got shut down by the man. This time I'm gonna be on a beach, speedoed out.
Bring a Spidey's powder tumbler.
I'm definitely gonna bring a Spidey's powder tumblers. Yo, damn blue alien. Yeah, so and then we'll be back, I guess, the week of the 17th, that Friday. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna leave one more time with the GoFundMe stuff. It's gonna be it for us. Thank you, chat. Just in closing, again, we lost Empire Comics earlier this week. The GoFundMe is pinned at the top of the chat. If you can donate anything to his surviving children, or just share this with people that in your network, just so that we can raise these numbers. And yeah,
It's crazy.
love you all. Peace.
The infamous Illuminati.